all is well in England, or more precisely, all is well enough, now that the unprecedented mass resignation of Boris Johnson's cabinet over the 48 eventful hours that resulted in an equally unprecedented, but characteristically combative, resignation speech from Britain's most entertaining and most In all, some 59 members of Parliament resigned from the government. Johnson's July 7 speech was predictably pyrrhic. It was delivered from the top of a smoldering heap of what had been a fractious, but nevertheless heavily mandated, Conservative government. As one would expect of a classically educated Eton and Oxford rhetorician, he spoke of the privilege it had been to serve. But he didn't exactly back up the moving van. Yes, a seemingly impatient Johnson stressed that a new cabinet was being formed. And yes, he reassured the nation that its government will continue to function. Oh, and by the way, there would be an election called, the date of which will be announced in the coming week. All good. With his wife, Carrie, and their new daughter looking on from the sidelines, Johnson strongly implied in closing that there was, simply, a ton of work waiting for him. Then he thanked everybody, turned and marched right back up the steps of number 10. And he was right. There is in fact lot to do before the wheels of the Conservative Party, Parliament and the Prime Minister himself actually cobble together either A, the ordinarily scheduled party conference in October, or B, an actual election that could finally usher Johnson out the excellently-enabled. Suffice it to say that, though he has been cornered and/or has been busy cornering himself in many ways before, Johnson hasn't been at a crux of quite this import before, in a set of chains this specific and total, what with a full British cabinet mutiny burning white-hot in his hands and his party. But Johnson has shown historic resilience at various points in his greater political biography and in this past 3 years as Prime Minister, during which his political footing was never quite as solid as he might have wanted it to seem. So, for now, 2 clear paths exist for an orderly transfer of power in the UK's constitutional monarchy. The first would be an official Conservative Party vote at the conference in October, which would theoretically fully oust Johnson, after which an election would be called. The second, more direct but no less fraught route would involve a decision by the Prime Minister, alone, to call for an early general election. Johnson stated as much in his speech before No. 0 on July 7. There remains a third, last path that this careening gyroscope of the Johnson devolution could travel. The Queen could, at any time, simply bow to the massive political fallout hanging in the air over London and ask him to go.